Last week I judged a flair competition in Coventry and the standard was incredibly high. Hey bartenders, welcome back to the bartenderhq.com podcast and thank you for joining me. Apologies that I was missing last week, but last Sunday night, when we would normally be putting out the podcast, I was in Coventry judging a flair competition. Now this is a competition that I've entered in the past. It was the Midlands Open Flair competition, and once I saw the standard of the competition, I was quite pleased that I was sitting behind the judge's desk this time. Now, almost invariably when you go to a flair bartending competition, there is someone that has an absolute dog of a round. There will be always somebody that really struggles and ends up having a lot more drops than they really kind of deserve to have in their routines and things like that. This just did not happen this time. I think the maximum deductions that anyone got was 9 points, which is a point for any drop or a point for any spill. And then there was nothing else, really. It was absolutely incredible. The level of bartenders that attended this competition, although there wasn't a huge number, because it was the beginning of December, and a lot of bartenders are obviously very, very busy in December, it was a really, really high level of bartenders at this competition. Now, these videos are going to be hitting our YouTube channel this week. Everything was recorded on the day. I just literally have not had a second to sit down and edit them this week. We've got a couple of clips have actually got up on our new TikTok channel. So if you guys are on TikTok, I've mentioned it a few times in the past. Hit us up on TikTok at bartenderhq. I think TikTok's going to be really cool for flair bartenders. It's such a visual medium, it works really, really well, but you can also throw some other stuff up there, see what works, and it's a really cool, fun time to have. But flair competitions, I know we've talked about a lot in the past. We've talked about how to win flair competitions. I will link to that in the show notes, and if you're watching on our YouTube channel, which is bartenderhq.com/YouTube, articles. But essentially, with flair bartending competitions, a lot of the points actually come from knowing the rules well and being able to deliver on that. Now, in this case, the rules were quite open, quite fluid. There was very little kind of detail in there. It was a 5-minute routine. You had to make specific drinks, so you had to kind of use specific bottles, because that's, I think, a good thing from a sponsorship point of view for brands that want to be involved. I think in competitions in general, there's a massive misunderstanding, a massive disconnect between brands and what they are actually looking to get out of these things. So that's something we're going to be talking about as well. But at this competition, it was very much kind of 5 minutes, maximum of 3 items to flair with, and that was kind of it. Like, very low deductions, just make sure that the drinks are there and the drinks are made well. This is one of the things that I think has always been a bit of a bane of flair bartending competitions, is that bartenders have certain moves that they want to do rather than specifically kind of, we need to make drinks in our time. And that's kind of where some of the perception of flair bartending as not being kind of as bartendery has come from in recent years. Now, I think that's changing quite a lot, because craft flair, which we've talked a lot about craft flair in the past, craft flair is this great way of kind of connecting real bartending with flair bartending and the style that you can add in. And I think flair bartending is going to have a bit of a renaissance, to be completely honest. There's been an awful lot of kind of bureaucracy around it. There's a whole bunch of places out there that can kind of train bartenders to flair, but I think the issue is still one of perception in bartending in general, that flair bartenders in general don't make great drinks, and bartenders that make great drinks are spending so much time on that they don't have time to flair, or they're not interested in the flair side of things. Now, I think that's going to come back together, because experience is key for everyone in bars these days. There are golf courses out there that are doing cocktails and they're doing 2,000 drinks a weekend, and there are great bars that are not making any money because people don't know about them and they're not looking for just a drinking experience as much anymore. Now, this is not to discount that at all. There are certainly people out there that are looking to purely go and drink in a specific place that is purely about the drinks. But there's also a huge market out there for people that want to run a bar, to run it alongside an operation, whether that's a high-end bowling alley or crazy golf, or we've got shuffleboard starting now, we've got darts coming in as a big thing in the UK with places like Flight Club that we've talked about in the past. We've got electric shuffle, we've got places like Roxy Ballrooms, which are ping pong and bowling alley and and pool, kind of bringing a lot of these kind of barroom sports back together and making more of an event of going out, so that people have got something to do, something to occupy themselves that isn't just about the drinks. Things like barcades as well, where you can have retro gaming, and I'd almost sort of encourage places to do free gaming while people are there drinking. Maybe there's a way to do that. Maybe you get X amount of credits added onto your card for every drink that you buy. That would be a really cool way of doing things. Because essentially all you're trying to do is keep people in your bar to enjoy more drinks, and then they're spending more money. That makes a lot of sense to me. If people haven't done that in a barcade yet, by the way, you're missing out. You've failed miserably. You can have that. Enjoy it. But yeah, I didn't come on here specifically today to talk about flair bartending or to talk about barcades or experiences. But these are all things that I keep coming back to time and time again, because this is the way that the bar industry is going. We've got some great high-end bars that are doing amazing drinks, and that becomes the experience. But then for bars that don't necessarily want to focus everything they do around a high-end menu, or using ingredients that people have never heard of, then what's going to be your hook? What is it that's going to bring people into your bar? Do you want to turn your bartenders into personalities that become the draw? Do you want to... So I think there's a massive market for people to employ bartenders specifically for their Facebook and social followings, and I think that is going to become a huge differentiating factor for people to bring new people into their bars, because they're just literally tapping into the bartenders that they're having. If you have bartenders that can also make content around what they're doing and what your bar is doing, then that is a great way to absolutely capitalise on the people that you're employing anyway. This is a really weird, rambling kind of podcast, and I know it's not very specific, but it is just coming up to Christmas, and there's so much stuff bouncing around in my head around different things that have been going on in the industry, different things that I've seen on the bars that I've been to visit, and the people that I've got. This is, today is the 22nd of December, so Christmas is just around the corner. We've just got through the Black Friday weekend, which is the busiest weekend of the year, pretty much for any bar. And I'm out tomorrow meeting more customers to hopefully secure some supply agreements for next year. And things don't stop. I know it's going to be busy in the bars, but people still want things in place for the new year. What have you done about your New Year January menu? Are you going to have some non-alcoholic options? Because you know that people are going to be reducing how much they drink in January. People are also going to be skint. So what are you doing to prize those last few pounds or those last few dollars out of people's pockets on the run-up to the end of January? The end of January weekend, that pay weekend, is a huge weekend. It can be absolutely massive for bars, but you need to kind of keep the momentum going in January. So what are your plans? Are you going to be... I want to talk to everyone on Twitter about this, because I know you guys are going to be still having some time travelling to and from work, regardless of how busy it is. We've obviously got the weird weekend that comes between Christmas and New Year, where nobody really knows what day of the week it is, so does the Saturday still act like a Saturday? I want to talk to you guys on Twitter, and I want you to join our bartender group on Worldwide Bartender Community. That is a great place for us to discuss these things, and I really want it to become more of a conversation. At the moment, there's a lot of people dropping videos in there and flair clips and stuff like that, and I love all of that. Please keep that coming, but hit us up, the Worldwide Bartender Community on Facebook, and let's discuss what is your January going to look like as a bartender. Are you going to spend some time learning new stuff, or are you going to really try and push to bring people in with a great non-alcoholic offering? Or are you going to do experiential stuff where you're offering tastings to people? I know I've got 2 or 3 tastings already lined up in January, consumer-facing tastings that are going to kind of pull people back into a bar at a time of the year that they wouldn't normally be going. So hit us up on Twitter, @BartenderHQ, hit us up on the Facebook group and on the Facebook page, and definitely check out the TikTok. Get over to TikTok @BartenderHQ. There's loads of clips going up there, and as I say, there's going to be more going on our YouTube channel. This week is going to be crazy. There's going to be loads of stuff for you to watch and enjoy, and I really hope that you join us. Let me know what you want to talk about in the new year as well, and we'll try and get more structure to what we're going to be doing going forward. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next podcast.